Hello, AC Keeble here. Sorry this video is coming late. I've been busy taking a break from politics to celebrate Christmas, and I'm as happy as I can ever be. We won the general election and it was a hangover from heaven. All that hard work at canvassing on frontline politics has proven that autistics who are actively engaged in frontline politics can really make a difference. And I'm glad to say that I didn't take a back seat and play the part of an online keyboard warrior working from home, spreading Tory propaganda or anti-Labour propaganda across the web. No, I got out there and I actually spoke to the people myself. Well, I had to write some notes about what to catch up on, being that it's been a few days since my last video. Well, a few weeks since my last video, but now I'm back to recording. Let's see. Well, as happy as I am with the election, there's still going to be more politics as we move into the new year, with the London General Assembly and London Mayor elections, which will be taking place in May. I will carry on doing my Autistic Conservative advocacy work, starting with my campaign and my work with my fellow Conservative activists to promote the inclusion of autistics in employment by reinventing the way we hire disabled people and reinventing the way in which we work. The problem with how disabled people are never in good job opportunities or good ways of earning their own living is because of the way the job market has been set up to exclude them. Whilst on my time off from video making, I wrote this article for the Havering Daily. It carries in the title my buzzword for this general election, which was Autistic Conservatives Support Aspirational Aspies. And that was a really good campaign slogan for me to use, and I'll definitely use it again. Maybe not when I'm knocking on doors, but I'll be sure to explain to people in Hornchurch, Romford, Redbridge and Upminster what benefits autistic people can bring to London when I campaign for Sean Bailey and our GLA candidates. Right, let's see. Oh yes, here's something that's come to mind. During the time that I was working at campaigning, I spoke to the Labour candidates for Romford, Angelina Leatherbarrow. She agrees with me on that autistics should engage in frontline politics, just like I have. We might not agree with each other politically, but we do agree that autistics should be allowed to engage, if they can, in their parties. And I've actually spoken, I don't just share my ideas for autism advocacy with the Conservatives, I share them with other parties who are willing to listen, especially those in other countries who also have conservative values, like the American Republicans, the Conservatives of Canada, and of Denmark, the Liberal Party of Australia, and wherever else in the world. Autism is a very big community of advocates and bloggers across the world, and I'm actually helping them with some useful ideas about how to feel positive about themselves and to show what they can do to better the world. Now, one thing that I think even Labour supporting autistics will agree on is the reason why, or disabled people in general, including autistics, are predisposed to support Labour or any other Liberal or Socialist party is because, being that they are mostly unemployed, they are dependent upon generous welfare payouts from the state because they haven't got that many opportunities to earn their own living. And, well, being that Labour and the other types of parties support high taxation, heavy public spending, well, that is usually their first choice. But I choose conservatism because I want intellectual freedom and independence for my own ambitions. And to do that, I fight against the enslavement to welfare and fight to reform the job market from within and show people how to invent ways in which they can modify their jobs so that they can be accommodating of autistics and live in a workplace that they feel comfortable in, which has a very sensory friendly environment or a well organised, well run and humane workplace. And now, well, oh yes, I don't take kindly to patronising and condescending morons that insist that I stay out of political activities. They're very ignorant and misguided of an autistic person's integrity. Many leftists who I've argued with don't recognise diversity of thought. They only want enslavement to one ideal and one thought only. I've even had a number of leftist autistics slate me for my activism as a conservative, who just don't appreciate any goodness in their lives, and, well, as far as their activism goes, they just engage in homogeneous pity parties, constantly arguing and rowing about how miserable their lives is, rather than showing off how good they are. If you ask me, I think they've been conditioned to loathe what they've been made out to be, and that they should, well, just live with the miserableness of the way society treats them. Let me give you an example of how my work and what I do outside of my political activities can be accepting of accommodating of autistics in a positive way. Now, moving on from the general election, I've now got back to my regular job working as an assistant to the trade director of a trade agency called Africa House London. We're working on this trade mission to travel to Nigeria next year, well, in March, and this trade mission has been a good opportunity for me as an autistic to use my knowledge of earth and environmental science, my passion for world trade and free market liberal economics to show people how developing countries, especially ecological tropical countries like Nigeria, can be used as a model for a green economy. One example of that is using Nigeria's rainfall, because it's a very wet country, to work for it. I've been researching a piece of equipment called rainwater harvesting. Basically, it involves collecting all the rainwater that falls upon your home and bucketing it into large containers that you can store and then use when a drought or some kind of heat wave comes along, to make up for water lost to a hosepipe ban, or your water supplies become significantly reduced. I remember that horrible heat wave we had in Britain in 2018. It was so ghastly, it practically made the whole country parched. All the grass went yellow, a reservoir almost dried up, and, well, the thought occurred to me that why ain't we as an island nation clever with our water supplies? We should be conserving water as a precious commodity and value it just as much as oil. And I reckon that rainwater harvesting could be a useful thing for both Nigeria and Britain. By bottling and collecting all this rainwater that falls on us, we can harvest that and use it to then filter for our own need whenever to quench our thirst. Brilliant. Nigeria is a good example of a country that can take rainwater harvesting to its advantage. In the south of the country, closest to the shore, it has an average rainfall of around 3,000 millimetres a year. In the north, where it's drier, around 240 millimetres per year. And because Nigeria has a sparse population, well, they will have plenty of drinkable water all year round to use at their own convenience. Now, let's see. Oh yes. Now, moving on from politics, I intend to take a back seat from blogging about politics for a while. What I need to do is to get back to my other passion, which is science. I've only just bought myself a present for in the January sales, Newton's Principia, perhaps the most famous and important science book in history. It was this book that Isaac Newton, another famous autistic scientist, wrote the 3 laws of motion on how objects behave as they move. I would very much like to write a science book myself sometime in the future, preferably on my own subject, which is Earth and Environmental Sciences. And I could probably show people how to contribute to this green industrial revolution that many environmental activists are calling for. I'm not a proper environmental activist myself, because I prefer to think up ingenious and inventive ways with which we can use our Mother Nature's resources to work for us, rather than go out wasting my time protesting. Right now, what I need to do is to get back to building trade relations with Britain post-Brexit and working on my future applications to go back to university and complete my degree in Earth and Environmental Sciences. I'm sure a lot of people willing to accept and value my intelligence and abilities will be open to hearing my suggestions. And perhaps I could even apply my work to the conservative action work that would take in place over the next 5 years when we start to build a vibrant and powerful post-Brexit Britain. Right, I'll leave it at that now. I will carry on with my work and get back to the rest of the day, and I hope you have a good time until the new year. Well, carry on into the new year and perhaps make some of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to my blog, ackeyboard.co.uk. Feel free to comment below on new ideas and suggestions that you could perhaps contribute to future videos. And well, let's just get ready to party for the New Year's Eve, although there'll be an even more bigger bash a month later on January the 31st when we effectively leave the European Union. Right, take care, goodbye.